Hello and welcome to One Word Show, the most, can I buy a vowel, show in the world. I'm Jacob. If you don't know that already, welcome. And today my guest, panelist, whatever you'd like to call yourself, Steve, is Vanya.
Thanks for having me.
Hello, Vanya.
Hi, how's it going?
So, once again, this is a common running theme. You don't know what we're doing.
I don't.
You were recruited onto this show by Cassandra, who's in our audience today, hanging out.
I was. So I'm hoping for the word to be cheesecake, but I don't think that'll be the case.
Nope.
Oh, I try.
All right, so here's how this works. I actually have 2 words for you. I know, it's a misnomer.
Yes.
You get to choose one of those 2 words.
Okay.
And we're just going to talk about that word for 10 minutes, and I'm going to ask you some questions about it.
I love it. Options are always good.
Options are always good.
Like a buffet.
With 2 items.
With 2 items. Very small buffet.
So, are you ready for your words?
Sure, let's do it.
Your first word is atomic. Atomic. My voice totally cracked on that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Atomic! And your other word is fashionable. So you get to choose one of those, and I'm secretly judging you based off of what you choose.
Yeah. Let's go with atomic.
Okay, so why not fashionable? Do you just not care about fashion? I mean, obviously.
Well, I came in here for another photo shoot, so I'm already overdressed. So to be talking about fashion and being overdressed, I mean, it's overkill.
Oh, what an elitist.
I know, it's ridiculous.
So you're going to talk about the word atomic.
Yeah.
So my first question with that is, what does the word atomic mean to you?
To me, I would have to say along the lines of solo or personable, like autonomy, along those lines. Mm-hmm. Having privacy, maybe? Is that where you kind of... Or more of the atomic, like as in bomb?
Possibly that.
Okay. Trying to gauge that.
I mean, there is a lot of talk about atomic weapons right now, isn't there?
There is.
All bad, right? Generally, we don't want to have the looming destruction of mankind hanging over us.
Normally, we do not.
Normally. Yeah. Every once in a while, maybe. No.
Preferably never, yeah.
Definitely not. Okay, so I love to keep things nice and happy and fluffy on this show. Yeah. So if the atomic bombs drop and kill everyone, what will you do if you're one of the last survivors?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I throw out the real questions.
Well, if I'm one of the last, there's obviously others. So I would put a search and rescue and try to get all the survivors together and try to rebuild.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens if the radiation mutates you and you grow a 3rd arm?
You know, that could be really helpful, especially if we go back to my senior piano recital, because I was playing this Franz Liszt piece, and the guy has hands that are double octaves. And there were moments when I was using the 3 pedals at the same time almost. A 3rd arm and 5 more fingers could have been really useful. You
know, now I'm just imagining you sitting alone in a wasteland, a desert of destruction and despair, with a piano, with a horrible disagreement going do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
And the cool thing is, I could borrow any of these beautiful grand pianos because...
Yeah.
Nobody's
going to be asking to take them back.
As bad as that sounds.
All right, so what's something else about the word atomic? Let's see. Atomic weapons we covered. What about atomic energy? Nuclear power.
Yeah, there is place for it, and obviously it's being used quite widespread at the moment. One challenge with that is, though, the storage of it, right? You know, if you go away from the atomic burying it in containers,
which
hundreds of feet.
We are notoriously bad at.
We are, and it just
how are we bad at that? Like, that needs to be the one thing you should probably good at, is not releasing nuclear waste everywhere. Right?
Exactly. Like you said, wasteland.
Okay, so how would you fix that? Yeah, I know. I'm throwing out really big questions for you. I'm not throwing you any softballs today. You get the hard ones.
I think we have to go along the lines of what we're doing now. We have the natural energy, obviously, but we have to look for ways to partner with the sustainable efforts of solar and wind energy, which is going on. I think we have a division for some reason, right? There's a solar and there's a natural, and the division does not need to exist, because I think there's a lot of collaborative efforts that have already taken place of new technology that can filter out some of the unhealthy elements in coal or gas. And I think
So what you're saying is you want it to be kind of green, kind of like your tie.
exactly. So kind of in the middle there.
Kind of green, kind of not.
Yeah.
All right. So, atomic. Tell me something I don't know about atomics. Atomic, whatever.
Okay.
Maybe it's a personal story, something
Yeah.
nuclear. I don't know. Did you play with nuclear? Did you play with some uranium as a kid?
I have not. Sounds like an interesting time, but I have not. Boy, you seem pretty knowledgeable. I mean, when you came off the bat and asked me about it, I was searching for a few seconds there. So, if nothing else,
Well,
you
to
can.
be fair, I got like 10 extra minutes to prepare for the question because I
True.
knew
True.
what your word was a little bit earlier than you. See, that's how this
Yeah,
works.
for sure.
The deck's always stacked against you.
For sure.
So, okay. Regarding the atomic weapons,
Yeah.
people have been pretty afraid recently. There was a big period of time where people weren't that afraid. There was a big period of time before where people were very afraid during the Cold War.
Sure, 60s, yeah.
Now, you did not grow up during the Cold War.
I did not.
I did not grow up during the Cold War, but lots of people we know did. How
Duck
do you
and cover.
think that affected people who grew up during the duck and cover era, or even the era slightly after that, where it was still a possibility up until, I'd say, the late 80s to early 90s?
Sure. I think it's, at times it's important to have that knowledge and being precautious about your surroundings and, being safe. That's important. But perhaps I think that added to the unnecessary nationalism and at times division with other countries who we have a lot in common, actually, So whether it's Russia or North Korea, at the end of the day, we're all people, humans.
Wait.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
People we don't like are still people?
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I mean, humanity, it's crazy. It's a crazy
Oh,
concept.
I don't know how to handle that.
So yeah, to the question, I think maybe it added to a little bit of that paranoia of, what's Russia up to or what is, this foreign country up to. But I mean, yeah, we're a nation of immigrants, so.
The 60s through 80s were also one of the scariest times for, being an American, nuclear war and all
Or
that.
being a Packer fan.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to get in at least one, huh?
Gotta say it.
But that also was the time where we are by far the most consumeristic and, especially
Oh,
the 80s. I mean, the 80s are all about greed and, being a Wall Street exec and making your money in the stock market and, Wolf of Wall Street and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think those came hand in hand? If I'm going to die tomorrow from nuclear war, I might as well get what I can now.
I haven't thought of it before, but I think you're onto something there. Yeah, I think maybe there's some correlation.
So bottom line is us young people are better.
In what ways?
We just are, right?
Oh no, we
Agree with me.
have a lot to learn from those who come before us. Because then my mom, if she sees this show, she won't be very happy with me.
Oh.
Even though she wasn't born in the 60s. Love you, Mom. She's been 29 for a while.
I think there is a lot to learn from previous generations, but I'm also really excited to see because us. I don't like the word millennials, but people who did not grow up, say, or even if you grew up, say, in the very late 80s, anyone past then, we're a pretty small generation, actually. Everything has been determined by what the boomers want.
Sure.
And that era is passing. And I wonder, is it going to be the Gen Xers who are the most important generation? Or are they going to be passed over for Gen Y, I guess, which is, like the 90s to,
Sure.
2010, I'd say.
Sure.
Or, and this is the weird one, the Gen Z people who are just being born now. And the big
amazing.
difference is they grow up with the internet.
Yes. And it's amazing. I think when we talk about it, we've been talking about the next generation for such a long time that we treat millennials as if they're still 10 years out instead of being, the current leaders, the current teachers, the current mentors in our community.
The current people running for government,
Isn't that
kind of stuff.
crazy? Yeah.
The current people having their own talk shows.
Yeah, exactly.
look at
So I'm actually you probably know this, with the current young professionals, and we're already talking about Gen Z and how we should be reaching out to the high schools and getting them prepared for the workforce. Because so many more are choosing not to do the college option or trying to get into the trades right away instead. So we got to be prepared for that because I think millennials are more college driven and career focused. But we have to figure out where's Gen Z going to be at.
Where's everyone going to fit in their place? Yeah.
Hopefully when they're growing up, less atomic energy is being used, and
Yes.
maybe closer to solar and wind and more of the sustainable.
All right. So, what are your final thoughts on the word atomic? Told you it goes
For
by
sure.
quick.
Oh yeah, it does. I think I learned a few thoughts and a few things I should say from you on the word atomic. Yeah, I mean overall, it's a word I don't think much about. But if you connect it back to I think North Korea and the crazy things going on there, I think you and I hit on a good point there that even though if we disagree with people and we may not be able to see eye to eye at times, but at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all people, and hopefully, hopefully the word atomic isn't a scary thing, but it is more of a thing that can
Help us.
help us in a way and not threaten one another with.
Because there are a lot of cool things you can do with atomic energy.
Oh, yeah.
And, there are atoms and all that weird stuff, and, fission and fusion and, Higgs boson and all
Stuff
that.
that you know
cool
way
stuff.
more about than I do. So,
But-
yeah, if you just say the word chemistry, I'm out of here.
But, we always focus on the big boom.
Oh, sure.
And maybe we shouldn't. There are cool things we can do with atomic stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, having
This was fun.
fun episode, talking some serious topics at the same time.
For sure.
And if you guys want some more explosive episodes of One Word Show, you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, and you can go to our website, www.onewordshow.com. And that's everything, so goodbye.